Welcome back to Clarity English Studio, your calm, friendly space to grow your English through real, meaningful conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike. So glad you're spending some time with us today, wherever you are and whatever you're doing right now.
Mike, can I ask you something straight away? Have you ever had something fall apart and someone immediately said, "Don't worry, everything happens for a reason"?
Oh, yes. And depending on the day, that sentence either feels like a warm blanket or makes you want to stare at the wall in complete silence.
A very long, very meaningful silence.
Because sometimes words that sound comforting don't quite leave room for how difficult things actually feel.
Right. The sentence sounds beautiful for about 2 seconds, and then the real pain walks into the room.
And suddenly that neat, polished little phrase feels just a little too neat and polished.
Because real pain didn't prepare a speech, it just showed up.
It really did. No warning, no explanation, no helpful slide presentation.
And that's exactly why today's topic feels so personal for so many people, because almost everyone has heard this phrase at a hard moment.
Some people find it genuinely comforting. Others find it quietly frustrating, and many people feel both things at the same time.
Which makes it one of the most interesting phrases in everyday English. Simple words, but carrying so much underneath.
Today we're going to explore that space, the space between pain and meaning, and talk about it honestly and gently.
And as always, while we talk, useful English words and phrases will appear naturally inside the conversation. No lists, no pressure, just real language and context.
Today's episode is B2 level, so it's for upper intermediate learners. Don't worry if you miss something on the first listen.
Just relax, follow the ideas, and let the English come to you. And at the end, we'll have our calm vocabulary tour, where we revisit the key words slowly and clearly.
Before we begin, if this kind of thoughtful English conversation helps you, please subscribe and share this episode with someone who might connect with it.
And leave us a comment answering this question. Do you believe everything happens for a reason, or do you think people create the meaning themselves later?
That's a genuinely interesting question, and we'd love to hear your honest answer.
All right, let's get into it. Mike, why do you think people want so badly to believe that everything happens for a reason?
Because I have no idea why this is happening is a deeply uncomfortable place to sit, and the mind doesn't love sitting still in confusion.
It's like knocking on a door over and over and nobody ever answers. Your mind just keeps knocking.
Exactly. And when life starts to feel random or chaotic, people look for a pattern, any pattern, to hold on to.
Because even a painful answer can feel easier than no answer at all. Isn't that interesting?
It really is. People aren't always searching for deep philosophy. Sometimes they just need something that makes the pain feel less loose, less scattered.
Less like carrying water in your hands. You're holding something real, but you can't quite keep it all together.
And maybe that's where this phrase begins, not always in wisdom, but sometimes in hope. Hope that things are going somewhere, even when you can't see where.
And that changes your perception completely. Your perception being the way you interpret or make sense of what's happening around you.
Right. Two people can go through the exact same painful experience, and one sees only loss, while the other slowly begins to see direction.
And sometimes, much later, people look back and say, maybe this was inevitable.
Inevitable meaning it was probably going to happen regardless, not because they wanted it, but because looking back, the signs were already quietly there.
Like a relationship that looked fine on the surface, but had already started slowly drifting months before the ending.
Or a job that felt stable but left you heavy and tired every single morning without you fully admitting it.
Believing there's a reason gives people something to stand on, even when the reason is still blurry and unclear.
And maybe that's enough, at least at first, at least while you're still finding your footing.
But this phrase doesn't comfort everyone equally, does it?
Not at all. For some people it helps, for others it makes them want to quietly leave the conversation.
And that's where the nuance comes in. Nuance meaning those small emotional differences inside the same idea that change everything.
Because this topic is definitely not black and white. The same sentence can feel like kindness or like a dismissal depending entirely on the moment.
Timing matters so much here. If someone says everything happens for a reason years later, when you've had space to heal and reflect, you might actually hear it and think, maybe.
But if they say it while you're still shocked, still hurting, still trying to understand what just happened, it can land very differently.
Because in that raw moment, you might not need a reason yet. You might just need someone to acknowledge that you're hurting.
Yes, sometimes before people need meaning, they just need to feel seen. No fixing, no lesson, just someone sitting with them.
And that's why this phrase can cause such mixed feelings, not always because the words are wrong, but because they often arrive too soon.
Exactly. Meaning offered too early can feel heavy instead of helpful, like someone handing you a textbook while you're still in the middle of the storm.
Because not all pain transforms into wisdom in 5 minutes. Some feelings stay, they linger.
And linger is a beautiful word here. It means something stays longer than you expected, longer than the people around you expected too.
Some experiences stay unresolved for a long time, meaning you haven't yet found peace with them, even as life continues moving forward.
And people sometimes forget that. They want pain to become something tidy and resolved far too quickly.
But healing isn't a presentation with clear slides and a clean conclusion. It's slower, messier, and much more human than that.
Slide 1, heartbreak. Slide 2, growth. Slide 3, thank you for your time.
Perfect structure, terrible emotional reality.
Because real pain is slower. Sometimes you don't need a reason yet. Sometimes you just need time to feel what you're feeling without rushing toward meaning.
And yet, some painful things do eventually become turning points, don't they?
They do. Not all pain changes your life in a clear or beautiful way, but some of it genuinely does shift your direction.
Rejection is a big part of that conversation, one of life's least welcome visitors.
Very badly packaged. No ribbon, no warning, just here you go, goodbye.
But rejection really does bruise your confidence in the moment. It makes you question yourself, makes one no feel much bigger than it really is.
Because in that moment, it doesn't feel like redirection. It just feels personal, like a door closed directly in your face.
And closed doors feel rude, deeply, specifically rude.
But sometimes the thing that broke your plan also quietly broke the illusion that the plan was actually right for you.
That's such a powerful idea, because sometimes we're not only grieving the loss itself, we're grieving the future we had already built inside our heads.
The version of life we had already imagined, already planned, already started looking forward to.
And that's why looking back can feel bittersweet. Bittersweet meaning something carries both pain and meaning at the same time.
Like not getting the job you were completely certain was yours, and then finding yourself somewhere that fits your actual life so much better.
Or losing a friendship that really hurt, but learning for the first time what real, genuine friendship is actually supposed to feel like.
So when you look back, it still stings a little, but you can also see what it moved you away from or what it gently pushed you towards.
And that makes certain losses feel so strange. You would never call them easy, but you also can't honestly deny that they changed you.
The pain is still there in the memory, but now the pain is sitting right beside something called perspective.
And once pain is no longer the only thing in the room, you start to see more than just the wound.
You start asking a different question, not just, why did this happen to me, but what did this change in me?
And that shift in question might be where this whole topic becomes really interesting.
Because maybe the meaning wasn't sitting there from the very beginning, already prepared and waiting for us.
Maybe it came later, quietly, slowly, piece by piece.
Or maybe, and I really love this idea, we were the ones who built it ourselves.
That idea gives people something back, some agency, some power in a situation where they felt they had none.
Because when people say everything happens for a reason, it can sound like life already wrote the lesson for you before you even had time to cry.
Like a very organized, slightly controlling universe that handed in its report before you'd processed anything.
But real life doesn't feel like that. Real life feels slower, messier, and much more quietly human.
Sometimes meaning isn't something you find lying there waiting for you. Sometimes it's something you build carefully from what the experience taught you.
And that's what it means to draw meaning from something, to take something of value from an experience, even when the experience itself was painful.
That feels more honest to me. Less magical, perhaps, but more human and somehow kinder, too.
Kinder because it doesn't ask you to call the pain beautiful or to pretend you're grateful for it.
It just says, maybe something true can grow from this. A boundary, a strength, a clearer sense of direction, a better understanding of yourself.
And the meaning isn't pretending the pain was good. It's simply refusing to let the pain stay completely empty.
You may not have chosen it, you may never call it fair, but you can still decide what you carry forward from it.
And I think that is one of the most deeply human things we do. We make meaning slowly, sometimes years later, sometimes with tears still attached to it.
But even then, we need to be careful, because once people start talking about lessons and growth, things can tip into something uncomfortable.
Yes, pain can start to sound too beautiful, too poetic, too carefully arranged.
And not every painful thing should be romanticized. Not every wound needs to become an inspiring story.
Pain is not automatically noble or meaningful just because it changed you. Some things are simply sad. Some things are genuinely unfair. Some things leave real marks.
Yes, some experiences are transformative, meaning they change you at a deep level, but that doesn't make the pain itself beautiful.
The growth may be beautiful. The wound was still a wound.
And that difference matters, because sometimes people talk about their hardest moments like they were wise old teachers sent to help them.
But sometimes pain was just pain, rude, uninvited, and not particularly educational in the moment.
Exactly. And still later, you may realize it changed your direction, but that's completely different from saying it was lovely or worth it.
So the question becomes, where do we actually land if we don't want forced positivity, but we also don't want to stay bitter forever?
What does healthy acceptance actually look like in real life?
Maybe it looks something like this. Not everything happens for a reason you can see straight away, and not everything painful has to become a beautiful story.
But over time, you can come to terms with some things, and that phrase is so important, to come to terms with something.
It means you slowly make peace with it, not because you loved it, not because it was fair, but because carrying it in the same heavy shape forever becomes too exhausting.
Acceptance isn't saying, I'm glad it happened. Sometimes it's just quietly saying, it happened, it changed me, and now I want to live forward from here.
That feels real. Real and gentle and honest all at once.
And maybe that's why this phrase, everything happens for a reason, stays with people even when they're not sure they believe it.
Because even when we don't fully agree with the words, we understand the heart behind them, the heart that wants meaning and peace and just a little hope.
All right, let's slow down now for our vocabulary tour. We had some really rich, beautiful language in today's episode.
These words aren't just useful for English, they help you talk about life, feelings, and change in a deeper and more honest way.
First word, perception. Perception means the way you see, interpret, or make sense of something.
For example, two people went through the same experience, but their perception of it was completely different. Or, with time, her perception of that painful moment slowly began to change.
Repeat, perception. Perception.
Next, inevitable. Inevitable means certain to happen, impossible to avoid.
For example, looking back, the ending felt painful but also inevitable. Or, at the time it felt sudden, but later the change seemed inevitable. Repeat, inevitable. Inevitable.
Now, nuance. Nuance means a small but important difference in meaning, feeling, or tone.
For example, there's a lot of nuance in this topic. The same phrase can comfort one person and frustrate another. Or, if you miss the emotional nuance, you might say the right words at completely the wrong time.
Repeat, nuance. Nuance.
Next, shed light on. To shed light on something means to make it clearer or easier to understand.
For example, this conversation shed light on why some people find that phrase comforting while others find it painful. Or, time can shed light on feelings that once felt completely confusing. Repeat, shed light on.
Shed light on. Next, lingering. Lingering means staying longer than expected, especially with emotions or memories.
For example, after the situation ended, a lingering sadness stayed with her for months. Or, some pain disappears quickly, but some feelings are more lingering. Repeat, lingering.
Lingering. Now, unresolved. Unresolved means not settled, not healed, not made peace with.
For example, years later that memory still felt unresolved. Or, some experiences stay unresolved for a long time, even as the rest of life moves on. Repeat, unresolved.
Unresolved. Next, bittersweet. Bittersweet describes something that feels both painful and meaningful, both sad and beautiful at the same time.
For example, looking back on that goodbye felt bittersweet. Or, the memory was bittersweet. It still hurt a little, but it also showed her how much she had grown. Repeat, bittersweet.
bittersweet. Now, draw meaning from. To draw meaning from something means to find value or understanding in an experience, even a painful one.
For example, he didn't call the experience beautiful, but he still drew meaning from it. Or sometimes we only draw meaning from something much later, when we have enough distance to see it clearly. Repeat, draw meaning from.
Draw meaning from. Next, transformative. Transformative means causing a deep, important, lasting change.
For example, the experience was painful, but it was also transformative. Or, a transformative moment can completely shift the way you see yourself and the direction of your life. Repeat, transformative.
Transformative. And our final phrase, come to terms with. To come to terms with something means to slowly accept it and make peace with it.
For example, it took her several years to come to terms with what had happened. Or, he never called it fair, but he eventually came to terms with it and chose to move forward. Repeat, come to terms with.
Come to terms with. Those were such meaningful words, and each one helps you talk about life with more honesty and depth.
Go back and listen to this vocabulary section again if you'd like, and say the examples out loud. That active practice makes a real difference.
And maybe that's what today was really about, not finding perfect answers to impossible questions.
But learning how to carry those questions a little more gently and finding the language to talk about them honestly.
Whether you believe everything happens for a reason, or whether you believe people quietly build the meaning themselves, both are deeply human responses to a complicated life.
And both deserve to be spoken about with care, in any language, but especially in the one you're working so hard to grow.
Leave us your thoughts in the comments. We genuinely read them, and they mean a lot to us.
If today's episode helped you, share it with someone who's going through something difficult or someone who loves thoughtful English conversation.
Take care of your English, and take care of your heart, too. This has been Clarity English Studio. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike. Keep going, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.